Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Cat. Just gonna go over PAX and just an overall recap of the week or semi-week that I was out there. For those of you that don't know, we were out there with Hi-Rez, Sooner and I. We went out there to showcase, I guess, or shoutcast or stream Smite, and then they had tribes as well. Anyways, I left on Wednesday morning, and it was pretty early actually. I left at I had to get up at like 3:30 in the morning. My flight was at 6 something, so I want to get there an hour early because boarding starts about 45 minutes early. And just in case there's any issues, I want to make sure they're able to be sorted out. And this is also I'm going to be filling in this video with just short random clips. So this one's pretty funny, I thought. I wish my mic came through on it because it's actually my side would have made it a lot funnier, I think. But anyways, back to the thing. So I got over to Seattle about 11 a.m. On the West Coast. So, I'd been up for a while, whatever. I got there. Sooner and Bart were standing outside of the hotel. I got a taxi over. And they were... so I went outside, I met them, shook their hands, blah, blah, blah. There's a couple other Hi-Rez people that I was introduced to as well. I can't remember exactly who was standing out there at the time, but, I met everybody. From there, they're like, you can go eat and, sleep if you want to since you've been out for a while. We're going to head over to the convention and start setting up if you want to go. And I was like, yeah, fuck that, I'll go. So I brought my stuff up to the room and then headed over to the convention with everybody. When we got there, it was pretty cool. We got our little exhibitor badges and all that stuff. And we just started unpacking all the stuff. There's 50 computers that people were able to play on. And then the streaming computer, and I think an extra one, a backup streaming computer. So there's a lot of freaking stuff to unpack, a lot of monitors, a lot of cables, and all that stuff. So we just did that. We made sure we had 50 monitors set aside, 50 computers, and then anything that was extra or whatever just went back on the crates. So that was pretty much the first day. We got everything set up on the tables, flipped the tables. Actually, I lied. We didn't even do that the first day. We had to wait a bit because the people that were setting up the actual booth had some stuff to do. They didn't finish getting certain areas down or whatever, like carpet or whatever, so we had to wait. We went to the Cheesecake Factory for lunch. There's some weird waiter with really bad jokes. I mean, awful jokes that if I was the one tipping him, I probably wouldn't have gave him anything. This is where the fun starts. So right here I'm telling this guy that, I'm bleeding, I gotta get off my bike right ahead of me so you don't think I'll shoot you. I didn't want to shoot him, I just want to be friends with him, so I get off and bandage. He rides ahead just to make sure. Anyways, so that was pretty much that day. We went to Cheesecake Factory, went back to the, the place, put the tables down and started setting up from there. Got back pretty late, took a shower, got dressed, and went out to dinner with everybody. Actually, I don't know if we went back and showered and ate. I think we went straight to dinner, actually, because it was that late. I think we had the midnight meal or whatever. Got back to the hotel 2 or 3 in the morning. Had to be up at 7:15, so we went ahead and did that. So I barely slept that first night. I was up 24 hours, and then I only slept 3 or 4. Next day, set up again, make sure everything's set up and working. Lunch, Cheesecake Factory again, which was awesome. We ate really good when we were out there. And that was Thursday. Now Wednesday and Thursday are just setup days. Nothing really important to talk about there. And then Friday was the start of the event. Once again, we had probably slept 2 or 3 hours because we were there late, making sure everything was running. Late dinner again. So we got there. We had the drivers were picking us up at 7:15 in the morning to go to the convention. Press and all that stuff were let in at 9, and public was let in at 10 a.m. So we left at 7:15, got there for probably 8ish because we were pretty far away, and they wanted to make sure that everything was set up and running before press got there, not just the public. So we did that. Soon and I began casting, as you all know. Bart casted as well. And when we weren't casting, we were on the floor, walking around, telling people about the game, showing them how to play, and filling in for people that rage quit, that just couldn't, pick it up or whatever. So, that was pretty awesome. Friday, I met Ernie. Ernie came by. It was the first time meeting him. It was pretty awesome. And then, a couple of others. Sly Foxhound came by. He shoutcasted with Bart a little bit and said he would come back on Saturday. He was there all 3 days, which was pretty cool. He really likes Smite, I guess. And then Friday night was the Twitch Ubisoft Fragdow's party. We went there. I met Fuzzy Otterballs, Gun Run, Elaine, just everybody was there from the Twitch staff, and all of them are fucking hilarious in person. Very cool, laid-back people. Like I said, know how to have a good time. They were all just dancing to Gangnam Style, like it was like no cares in the world, which is really cool. I wish I could say I would do the same, but I don't know. This is not me. I hate dancing. I hate clubs.
Both of our bikes screwed now.
So this guy crashed his bike and then fucking wrecked it. My bike still works. So I offered to trade him. I offered to duel him. We both take 10 paces, turn around, shoot. Whoever wins gets to keep the bike, but he doesn't want to take it, so I have to take actions. Anyways, so yeah, I met all of them there. Very fun time. We didn't stay out late or drink a lot because we had to be up early again to start casting. So, I had a couple beers. We left there at like 3 in the morning. Well, no, a little after 2 because the club actually closed at 2. So we left at like, 2:15 or whatever, and then got picked up or whatever. I just used a lot of whatevers right there. And then, once again, up at 7:15 and drivers... Well, no, up earlier than 7:15. I think I woke up at 7:12 on Saturday and just, like, panicked and looked over as soon as, like, get the fuck up, man, we gotta get going. Went downstairs and, barely ate, and then just from there, drivers drove us over. We were just, like, we started eating, like, vitamins and slamming down energy drinks, 5 hours or Monsters, whatever was available to us. And then began casting today, and said Shibby stopped by. Shibby, Jerema, and Incredible Orball stopped by. I guess Orb didn't really play at the time. I think he started playing since then, but that's besides the fact. So Shibby was telling me how they watched our streams and stuff, which was really cool. And he's like saying how we had good games and stuff, which is even cooler. So they were like, yo, you guys should come by tomorrow because Sly Fox has come by, and we're gonna try getting like a little famous tournament going, I guess. And they all agreed to do so. They stuck around for a while and hung out for like probably an hour, and that ended that day. And I was like, man, I'm sleeping tonight. I'm not going out. It was Saturday. There's parties. I think Minecraft party, and I want to say Zombie U party. They might have been the same thing. I can't remember. But I was like, I need to sleep tonight. I've been sleeping 3 hours and running on like 18 hours of whatever, of being awake and doing stuff, working and standing on my feet. By the end of the week, and my feet, my heels, my knees, my back from like hunched over, because the casting booth on the computer that I was working on only had so much headphone cord, so you couldn't sit back. You had to hunch over the whole time. Excuse me, it was awful. Anyways, so yeah, we're like, oh, I'm going in. I'm just gonna stay in. Literally, when we finished there on Saturday, which was like 6 p.m., that's when the convention closed. I thought we were gonna just I was just gonna go back and take a shower and pass out. That's how tired I was. But they're like, no, team dinner tonight. So every single person went over, which is the whole Hi-Rez team. I forgot to mention, I met the whole lead design team, like Chris, Travis, Todd. Those guys are all freaking awesome, and then obviously all the people that do the graphic work as well. And then the girls that for Gabe and Alex who do like public relations and the photos and stuff like that. I'm sure I messed somebody's job up. But it was all awesome. They're all very cool. Nobody was like one of I was saying at the Duke when we got there, I was like, I'm really glad that nobody's like getting on my nerves. I mean, I don't get like annoyed or anything easily, but I was just very happy that it wasn't going to be like, oh my god, I got to stay away from this person or I'm going to freak out. Everybody was really cool. I could sit there and talk with them and chat with them about whatever. So that was probably the coolest part about the trip. Made it very easy to get work done and stuff. What was I saying? Oh, so yeah, Saturday night team dinner. I get down to the lobby, and half the people are really dressed up and half them aren't. And I was like, shit, should I go upstairs and change? And Duke's like, nah, man, you're fine. And I was like, all right, whatever. I mean, I have clothes to change into to dress up. And he's like, no, it's fine. All right, whatever. So we end up going out to this really, really nice steakhouse. It was called Dan's Broiler, I believe. The steaks were insanely expensive. The wine was insanely expensive. The appetizers everything was delicious. So, I mean, the appetizers had king crab, like meat, oysters, jumbo shrimp, and a bunch of other shit, teriyaki sirloin tips that just literally melted in your mouth. Everything was just absolutely delicious. So, that was probably the fanciest place. In terms of food that I've eaten, the overall setup was very nice, but I don't know. I'm not knocking this place in any way. It was amazing. So thanks to Hi-Rez for that meal. And then got back at like probably before 1 a.m. and we had on Sunday we didn't have to be there, or the drivers weren't picking us up till 8:15, so we actually got to sleep a decent amount and we were ready to go. Got up, had our breakfast, our vitamins, our energy drinks, and Sunday was an easy day, let's say, especially with all the stuff we had planned out. We had a really set schedule. We started off the day, Sooner and I would cast till 1, and then Bart would get on from 1 to 2 o'clock with NSL Lorne, and then from 2 o'clock till whenever, all the the YouTuber guys and streamers would come on. So the first game, it was me, Sly Foxhound, Shibby, Jerma, and Golden Blackhawk versus Lal Renene, Gassy Mexican, Eat My Diction, Sooner, and Ernie's. How did I forget Ernie, man? It was a fun game. Like, people were just shouting across the table. Sooner and Ernie had their duo lanes going where they were just shitting on us. It was just hella shit talk back and forth. Sly Foxhound's a character, man. He was just shouting the whole time. And that was another thing I was going to get into, is that they were all very awesome to meet. They were all very humble. They weren't like, oh man, I have 100,000 more Twitter followers than this guy. He's a nobody. They were all very cool to meet. So that was probably one of the coolest things too. I was going there looking forward to playing games and stuff, but then when I got there and I was talking to people, I was like, it's awesome to meet all these people that I play with and watch their videos on YouTube and stuff like that. So that was probably the biggest thing. Shibby was saying that to me, and I was like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense actually. So that was probably the highlight of my trip, and meeting all the Hi-Rez people. Like I said, they were very awesome to hang out with. A lot of funny jokes and stuff. As you can see, we were just shouting out E-Fame and Team Low 5 on every opportunity we could. So that was all of Sunday pretty much. And then at 6 o'clock, the convention closed up. We had to start packing, in which we did so. We had to wait on our crates normally, but I guess it wasn't a big deal this time. We got them early. So normally, I think they were saying last year they didn't get their crates to put everything onto until like almost midnight, and this year we got them like at 6:15. So we were out of there by 10 o'clock. Everything was packed down. I thought it was going to take a lot longer. I literally thought we were going to be there till like 3 in the morning. So we got out of there like 10:30 or whatever. The plan was to go over to a restaurant, have a nice meal, drink. Everybody had a flight at like 3 in the morning besides Sooner and Nabil. Nabil's like the head honcho, or one of the head honchos at Hi-Rez. So they had their flights late for whatever reason. Everybody else was like 3 in the morning. We had to get to the airport, including myself. So everyone's like, I'm just gonna get drunk and pass out on the airplane. So we got to this place after we finished setting up, and they're like, you guys are now late. Your reservations were all off. The hostess was just being a total bitch. I don't remember the name of the place. I wish I do. I would tell you guys not to go there. So we sat down. They got our drink orders. They didn't take any food orders at all. Usually, like appetizers and drinks or something. At least for me, when I go places to eat, they'll take appetizers and drinks at the same time, and then come back around and take your food orders after you've settled a little bit and figured out what you wanted. But an hour goes by. We're all drinking our beers and whatever else we got, and the waitress doesn't even come by. Someone has to go and find her, and was like, how long is it gonna be till we can put our food in? She's like, oh, it's gonna be like an hour. We're really busy. And we're like, why the fuck would you seat us then? Like, if you're that busy, that's all right. I worked in a restaurant, and I think I've always said this before, that you should be forced to work in a restaurant at least once in your life for a year. I mean, whatever, just to learn what people do there, so that when something goes wrong, you can't be like, oh, what the fuck. You should understand what goes behind it. I mean, that's with anything, to be honest, too. I know you want to complain and bitch, but there's always a story. I mean, yes, you could have a really shitty server, but when you're really packed like that at a restaurant, you just tell the person, okay, you guys are looking at like a 2-hour wait, even though it might be 30 minutes. If you guys are like having trouble handling your capacity already, be like, oh, we're looking at a 2-hour wait, or things are very slow tonight. I hope you guys don't mind, blah, blah. Let them know. Give them some crazy warning, some exaggeration. Don't be like, oh yeah, just sit right over here, And, that's what they did. So we went outside. Everybody was going in and out, just trying to find something to do while we waited, because we couldn't even get a second order of drinks. That's how busy it was. So I was outside with Duke, Alex, and Edda, which were all Hi-Rez people. And I came back inside, and there's appetizers, like eat and drink, finish whatever you guys got. get out. And I guess Nabil had ordered appetizers with his drinks because he knew there was going to be issues. So there's fried calamari and a bunch of other stuff. I literally just grabbed as much fried calamari with 2 hands as I could, shoved it all in my mouth when we left, and then we ended up just getting pizzas, some beer, and went up to Nabil's room and just drank and talked about PAX and all that weird stuff we saw, the cool stuff and all that, whatever. Shared our experiences on that, which was a lot of fun. That took us right about till 3 in the morning, where I had to go back to the room, grab all my shit, which I forgot my shirts. I didn't realize till I was on a plane, but Sooner grabbed them for me. He's gonna have to mail them or sell them to somebody, I guess. And then from there, what did I do? Oh, we went to the airport. Went there. I printed out my tickets, and one of them was like, it was all weird. It's like, does not work. This is not a security pass or whatever. This will not work for security. So I get up in line with a bunch of people. A lot of the other people are ahead of me. A lot of the high-risk guys. And the guy's like, I can't let you through security with this. And I figured I was going to be all right because I had my other ticket for my other flight because I had a layover. He's like, I can't let you through. So I was like, whatever, I'll go reprint it. I've been up for 24 hours. I'm not even going to argue with you. I'm just going to go and reprint it. So I went ahead and did that. I said bye to Bart, Mel, Krista, and I think Kate. I don't know. I think it was Kate. Who else was it? I'm gonna forget. So it was whatever. I went back and I was like trying to print it again, and the same thing kept coming up, and I was like, I went to one of the customer service, like, why do I keep getting this error? Sorry for the all the speech errors. I'm trying to get this in quickly and not have it be a 30-minute video. And she's like, oh, do you have any explosives in your bag? And I was like, what? No? I was like, why the fuck would I have explosives in my bag? But I was tired, so I was like, no, I don't at all. She's like, okay, well, do you have like cologne or anything in there? I was like, I have aftershave, but I took it from Connecticut to here with no issues. She's like, oh, you're fine then. Let me just reprint it for you. So she reprints it. I get into the security line check with the x-ray machine, the scanners, and all that stuff, or, whatever they are. Put all my stuff into the bins, take my belt off, take my shoes off, take my cell phone out, put my laptop in the thing, make sure everything's out. I start going to walk through, and the guy's like, take off your jacket. And I was like, holy shit. I had a hoodie on. I was like, my bad. I was like, here you go. He's like, put it in a separate bin. He was freaking out about it, so I did so. And I had my boarding passes in my pocket, and I went to reach into my pocket to grab them to hand them to the person that was working the scanner machine, the 3D scanner, and they're like, what did you just put in your pocket? And I was like, I was just reaching for my boarding passes to show you that I didn't, like, sneak in here. I'm not some fucking crazy. Like, I'm taking extra precautions here, but I guess so are they. They're like, don't ever reach into your pockets. So I was like, all right, I apologize. So they scan me, I get through the other side, and they're like, stand right there. And I was like, okay. And there's 2 dudes hovering over my bags, and they're like, sir, we have reason to suspect that you have something in this bag that you should not have. Do we have permission to search it? And I was like, feel free, sir. And, the whole time I'm apologizing for the inconveniences. I'm sorry I'm making your job harder. Blah, 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 blah. And they search my bag with all my clothes and stuff. And they're like, sir, you're supposed to take your toiletries out, deodorant, aftershave, all that stuff. And I was like, I apologize. I'm not trying, like, once again, I'm not trying to make your job harder. And then, Mr. Macho Man next to me is like, I'm going to check your backpack as well, just to be safe. And I was like, okay, feel free. And he's like, I'm not going to find any sharp weapons in here or any objects that could stab me. I was like, no, not at all. And I understand you can't stereotype somebody by the way they look. So he has to ask those questions and stuff. So they search all my stuff. And in my backpack, I had like a couple 5-hour energies, and I forgot to take them out. And he's like, why didn't, he's like, you were supposed to take these out. Why didn't you mention them? I was like, I am really sorry. I'm tired. And he's like, all right, whatever. I'll run them through the scanner. So they run them through all the scanner. They check my bags. Everything's good. And they're like, they hand my bags back over to me, and they're like, what does he say? He's like, sorry for all the inconvenience. Have a great day, sir. Have a great flight. He's like, I really apologize for all the issues. And I'm like, wow, man, you just went from Mr. Badass Cop to fucking my neighbor who just borrowed my lawnmower. So anyways, I got on my flights. I had pretty decent wait till I got on my first flight, because theirs were at like 6, mine was at like 7. So I got on there, and I kept nodding out before the flight actually took off. I actually managed to pass out before we even got off the ground. Woke up, and then we were landing in Minnesota. Hung out in Minnesota for a while, got some Chick-fil-A, watched like Daniel Tosh stand up or something, and then from there I got on my other flight and did the same thing. Passed out, Woke up at one point, and that's because the cart was coming around with the food and drinks. Had a cup of water, absolutely down that, passed back out, woke up, and they're like, 5 minutes till you land in Hartford. And I was like, fuck yeah. So I managed to sleep through all my flights, but I was still exhausted. Sleeping on an airplane is not good. So anyways, yeah, that's about 20 minutes of all my packs. I'm probably left out a bunch of stuff. Hopefully I didn't. I really can't recall any stories that I missed. If you guys have any questions that you remember me talking about on stream or anything that you want more details on, I can definitely fill them in for you, because I'm sure I forgot something. I was trying to squeeze as much information as I could in the shortest period of time while giving you guys a good rundown of what happened. Anyways, hopefully this is enjoyable. I'm sure most of you have already heard this. If not, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you for another video.